quaint old English street.
That's what everybody in school's calling me. You know that substitute teacher we have in American history, Miss McIntosh?
Yes?
Well, she finally got to me. She kept yakking about how spoiled kids are today and how tough the pioneer kids had to be in the old days. And I said I wouldn't have minded living in those days. And she said I wouldn't have lasted a week. And I said it would have been a ball. And I told her I could go for a whole week without using any of the modern civilized conveniences. And she said I couldn't.
I'm on her side.
The whole school is talking about it.
You mean you're supposed to live like a pioneer for a week?
If they did it, I can do it.
Times have changed, Patty.
Or maybe times have changed, but kids haven't. I don't believe we're weaklings, and I'm going to prove it. I've got to uphold the honor of my generation.
Boy, is your generation in trouble. Come to think of it, so's mine.
When do you start?
I've already started. Hello? Hi, Rich. Listen, Rich, this is very important. Do you remember last week when we went downtown to get those things for school? Yeah. What? I think you'd better hang up. Why? Because the telephone hasn't been invented yet.
Oh.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Patty, what exactly did you tell your teacher?
I told her that I could go for a week without using anything we didn't have back in 1800.
Do you have any idea what you're letting yourself in for?
Pablo, I've got to prove that kids today aren't soft.
Except in the head.
Can't we put him up for adoption?
Who'd have me?
You've got a point. Patty, aren't you going to use any modern conveniences at all? If it wasn't invented by 1800, forget it.
And you've agreed to do this for a whole week?
That's right. I'm out to prove that Miss McIntosh is wrong. Look, if I should slip up now and then, I want all of you to remind me.
Oh, we'll remind you.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell you the big news. Coach Edwards has practically picked me to be cheerleader captain at the big track meet next Saturday. Every girl in school was after it.
Congratulations.
Well, I better get dressed. Richard is taking me to a dance tonight. They had dancing back in 1800. I checked. Patty? Yeah? Are you going to bathe before you dress? Of course. They did take baths in those days. Not with hot running water, they didn't.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I never knew water could be so heavy. No wonder they only took baths on Saturday nights.
How does she get herself into these crazy situations?
I don't think it's so crazy, Ross. I'm on Patty's side. I like what she's trying to prove.
You know what I think? I think she's going to set us back 100 years.
How was your bath? The Eskimos. By the time I put the last bucket of hot water into the tub, it was ice cold. What do you think you're doing? Putting you back in the 19th century. Oh. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you. How am I going to dry my hair? Why don't you rub two sticks together and start a fire? That's what the pioneers did. Yeah? Well, they should have used hair dryers. At least they wouldn't have gotten scalped that way. I'd better get dressed. Richard's picking me up in a... What happened to the lights? Thomas Edison hasn't invented them yet, so I turned them off. Oh! Oh, boy. Here. Here what? Am I supposed to get dressed by that? Your great-great-grandmother did. Oh, yeah, but have you ever seen pictures of how she looked? Me and my big mouth.
Oh, that's an interesting hat.
I couldn't get my hair done. Here. Oh, there's my Lord and Master.
You know, that Bela Lugosi is the greatest.
Hi, Rich.
Never mind the high rich. You know you hung up on me this afternoon?
Yeah, sorry about that. I can't talk on the telephone for a whole week.
You can't. Why not?
It hasn't been invented yet.
What?
Look, it's a long story. Come on in and say hello to the old folks at home.
Hasn't been invented yet. Now, wait a minute. Oh, hello, Mrs. Lane. Mr. Lane?
Hello, Richard.
Richard?
Well, let's go.
He has all the social graces, hasn't he?
Patty, Tootie Henderson's band starts playing at 8 o'clock. I don't want to miss any of it. We'll have just enough time to make the first number.
Where is that dance, Richard?
Over at Danceland.
It's about 3 miles from here, isn't it?
Yeah, but I've got my car outside.
Oh.
I forgot.
You forgot what?
Automobiles. I'm afraid your car's gonna have to stay right where it is, Richard.
How are we going to get to the dance? Walk?
He asked you a question, dear.
Yeah. Richard, my boy, hasn't it occurred to you that people don't get enough exercise these days?
Sure. That's why we're going dancing.
Mom.
Would you mind walking?
Walking 3 miles to a dance? Is it because you don't want her to ride with me? My driving's improved a lot, Mrs. Lane. I haven't had an accident since Monday, and it was nothing. I mean, I got a scratched running board, but it wasn't my fault.
Your car has a running board? What are you driving, Richard?
An Essex.
An Essex.
If you're worried, I could spring for a taxi cab.
Richard, Patty can't ride in any vehicle this week.
Except a covered wagon.
Oh, what? You mean like an automobile hasn't even been invented yet or something? Now, wait a minute. First the telephone.
Come on,
and
Richard, I'll explain on the way. Say goodnight to the nice people.
Patty, if you think I'm going to walk 3 miles to a dance,
Patty, are you?
a lazy one.
You want to come in, Rich?
This has been one of the most interesting evenings of my whole life.
I'm sorry about the way things turned out, Rich.
I didn't mind walking 3 miles to Danceland, but the 10 miles back... Patty, why do we have to leave when we got there?
I told you because they were using microphones
And pioneers didn't have microphones.
Yeah. Now you want me to do this right, don't you?
Sure, but without me. I'll see you next week when you come out of orbit and return to our time zone. You know, sometimes I think you really are an escaped Martian.
Sorry, Rich.
Oh, forget it. And I mean forget it.
Rich. Good night.
Good night. And watch out for the wild Indians.
Is that you, Patty?
Mm-hmm. Hi, Mama. Papa.
How are you, Ann?
How was the dance?
How do you spell fiasco?
Hey, that's a pretty good word.
Please, no coaching unless it's my turn.
Sorry about that. You know, I never should have dragged Richard into this. He's not up to it.
Are you?
If the pioneers could do it all their lives, I guess I can do it for 1 week. Oh, they must have been made of steel.
Well, they were pretty rugged, but then they had to be. It's amazing what you can do if you have to.
Yeah, I hope you're right, Papa. I'd hate to let the kids at school down. They're all counting on me.
You won't let them down. I think you're doing just fine.
Yeah. Except I'm starving to death.
Well, didn't you stop at the shake shop?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we stopped. Only I couldn't eat anything. They cook their hamburgers on electric grills. And the pioneers never heard of a chocolate milkshake.
Oh. You know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to fix you a great big Pioneer sandwich, handmade, and a big glass of milk, cow-made.
Thanks, Papa. Boy, they sure were losers, our ancestors. They didn't have anything.
I'll tell you one thing they had. A wonderful, great, great, great granddaughter.
One of us in this room is the murderer, and I'll tell you who it is. It's...
I'm sorry you're not going to the movies with us, Patty. Yeah, so am I. I've been dying to see The Monster with Three Heads. We'll tell you all about it. Oh, you don't have to. It's my autobiography. Good night. Night.
Hi, Kathy. Pioneer lady, you sure you don't want to go skating? I bet they ice skated.
In the middle of a heat wave?
Okay, see ya.
Have fun.
If you're going ice skating, put on a heavier sweater.
Got one on a rig.
We're leaving, darling.
You sure you don't want to go to that jazz concert with us?
I'd love to. But it'd be cheating. I don't think the pioneers went to jazz concerts.
You know, we're really proud of the way you're sticking to this, honey.
Oh, there's nothing to it. You know, a lot of kids would get bitter about having to take icy baths and walk everywhere and not watch television or use electric lights or telephones or go to movies or jazz concerts. A lot of kids.
But not you.
No.
That's wonderful, darling. We'll be back early.
Rickety rap, who's that racing down the track? Brooklyn, Brooklyn, yeah! Brooklyn, yeah!
She's been carrying on like that all evening.
The big track meet is Saturday.
What just
You mean we have to listen to that until Saturday?
We're on fire! What about that one?
Noisy.
Papa, yells are supposed to be noisy. It's up to me to give inspiration to the team. Being captain of the cheerleaders is a very big responsibility.
Are you definitely captain?
Well, practically, definitely. It's between me and Alice, and actually, she doesn't have a chance, poor kid. She has a voice somewhere between Ema Sumac and Louis Armstrong. Watch our team on the beam. Shake 'em, break 'em, show where they take 'em. Rah! Brooklyn!
That definitely should inspire the old team. Martin, what do you think? Patty, how is Project Pioneer coming along?
Oh, that. Great. I only have a few more days to go. You know, it's been fun, in a gruesome sort of way. I gotta go. Richard and I are going for a walk in the park.
Oh, come home! Hey, you take care of that.
She's lucky it's not the hunting season.
What do you have, Kathy?
Oh, Sammy, I think I'll have a cheeseburger and a chocolate milkshake. I'll have a peanut butter on Dayton nut bread and a banana split.
I'll have the same.
Okay.
I'll have a cheeseburger, a chocolate milkshake, peanut butter and date nut bread, and a banana split.
Another year with you, Richard, we can all retire. What do you have, Patty?
Glass of water, no ice. How long are you going to keep this up, Patty? Until I drop dead or Monday, whichever comes first. Well, I certainly admire you. Oh, you can afford to. You're eating a peanut butter sandwich on date nut bread and a banana split. They did eat in 1800, you know. Yeah, but the peanut butter didn't come in jars and the bread wasn't baked by machines. Can't talk about it. I get all choked up. Hi, Kathy. Hello, Alice. Patty. Hi, Alice. Hi, Richard.
Hi, Alice.
Hi, Maggie. Hi. What are you having? Order something gooey. I enjoy hearing it. Oh, I'm too excited to eat.
Why? What happened?
Oh, guess who's the new captain of the cheerleaders at the track meet next Saturday? I'd have to guess. I am. Oh, not anymore, you're not. Coach Edwards just made me captain. He couldn't have. He practically promised it to me. Oh, did he? A little bird must have told him that you're living in the dark ages and didn't have a way to the track meet Saturday. That wasn't a little bird. That was a little rat. Waiter, some cheese for my little friend here.
Yes, Patty, but
Coach Edwards, you just can't let Alice be captain. I know all the yells.
Yes, Patty,
And I
but-
was captain last year.
Yes, Patty, but-
All the kids are counting on me.
Yes, Patty, but... Aren't you going to interrupt me?
Of course not. Go on, sir.
Well,
It's just not fair. It just isn't fair.
I should have stayed with yes, Patty, but...
I'm sorry. But just give me one good reason. Why? Why? When I was captain last year and...
Now, I understand that you've entered into a bargain with Miss McIntosh, your history teacher. Is that right?
Yes, sir. But that didn't include not being captain of the cheerleaders.
But you agreed not to use any mode of transportation not in use by 1800, right?
Yes, sir. But...
Patty, do you know how far it is from Brooklyn Heights High to the stadium where that track meet is being held?
Not exactly.
Well, I'll tell you exactly. It is 22 miles.
Is that all?
No, that is not all. If you're returning, it's 44 miles.
I thought it was more than that.
Now, when does your agreement with Miss McIntosh end?
This Monday.
Now, the track meet is this Saturday. You're going to have to make a choice, Patty. Do you want to get out of this thing with Miss McIntosh?
No, sir. I've suffered this long. I'm going to finish it.
Well, then you can see my problem. Obviously, you can't be to that track before noon on Saturday unless you use a bus or a car or a train.
Coach Edwards,
Huh?
if I'm on that field by 12 noon Saturday, will you let me be captain of the cheerleaders?
Patty, if you can keep your bargain with Miss McIntosh and still be at that field at noon on Saturday, you can have my job.
That won't be necessary, but thanks. See you on the field Saturday.
Yeah,
Saturday!
You know, I was thinking, Saturdays don't come around that often. Why don't we all take a drive up into the country today?
Oh, I'm sure Patty can't go with us. In the first place, she's not riding in anything this week, and in the second place, today is the day of the big track meet.
Oh, I forgot. She's captain of the yelling team.
They call it cheerleaders.
They can call it what they want, and I'll call it what I want.
There's no problem. Patty isn't going to be the captain.
I thought Coach Edwards said she could be.
Only if she got out there by noon. Kathy told me the field is 22 miles away.
22 miles away? Where is Patty?
Upstairs asleep.
It's after 9 o'clock. She couldn't make it out there now unless she ran all the way. Oh, hi, Kath.
Good morning, Uncle Martin, Aunt Natalie, Ross.
Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Kathy.
When I got up this morning, I found this on Patty's bed. It says, "Please don't worry about me. Henry is taking me to the track meet. We'll be back late." It's signed, Captain of the Cheerleaders, almost.
When did she leave?
I don't know. When I woke up, she was gone.
I've been up for hours, and I didn't see her. Martin, she must have left in the middle of the night.
You don't think that she'd be crazy enough to try to walk that 22 miles out to the field?
And 22 miles back? That's 44 miles. That's impossible.
Well, of course, it's been an impossible week. You know, frankly, I never thought she'd stick to that agreement she made, but she did. Oh, I suppose if she could go back 165 years, she can walk 44 miles. 44 miles?
Oh, Martin, she'll be dead when she gets home.
You know, maybe I'll take a little drive out there. Well, you know, in case she'd like a lift back. Well, I mean, 44 miles.
If I know Patty, Uncle Martin, she's not going to want a lift back.
Yeah, she's stubborn. She'll crawl first.
I don't know how the rest of you feel about this whole idiotic thing, but I'm so proud of her I could just burst.
You know, if she wasn't my daughter, I'd write an editorial about her. Maybe I will anyway.
Why don't we have a surprise for her when she gets back?
What kind of surprise?
Oh, I don't know, a victory celebration?
See, that's a wonderful idea. I'll barbecue some steaks.
I'll bake some bread.
I'll put up some lanterns.
I'll get a pan of hot water so she can soak her feet.
You know, that's the best suggestion yet, Ross. She's going to be in terrible shape when she gets back here. See, I have a wonderful idea. Why don't we set up a couch on the patio, and then she can lie down and eat her dinner?
Hey, Dad, what time's Patty gonna get here?
What?
I said, what time is Patty gonna get here? I figure I wouldn't put the hot water into it until she got here.
Oh, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, I'm not going to start that fire for a couple of hours yet. So I figure she's going to walk around 3.5, 4 miles an hour, maybe 5, 22 miles. She's got to rest a little on the way. Or she'll be here between 9 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning.
Ricky Rat, push the left, the side of the back, hip, hooray! Oh, you should have been there, Papa. We won everything. The 100-yard dash, the 50-yard dash, the broad jumps, the hurdles, everything. Oh, boy, I wish you were there. Even you, Ross.
Honey, you just came from the track meet?
Yeah, it was a clean sweep.
You mean you walked all the way out there and...
Walked? No, I never could have made it in time. Henry gave me a lift out and brought me back. That's exactly what I would have done, Patty.
Yeah, me too, sis.
Well, actually, it was very wise of you, dear.
Yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, I guess it was a kind of a silly agreement anyway.
I don't understand what you're all talking about.
Oh, about your giving up your Pioneer Week agreement with Miss McIntosh.
Well, if Henry gave you a lift out, I think maybe you all better meet Henry. Henry, say hello to the group.
Hello, darling.
Oh, hi there. Sounds like Patty's having a little party. I don't blame her. She's entitled to her victory celebration. Oh, I bought her a present. She can keep this as a reminder of Pioneer Week.
Oh, I don't think she'll ever forget Pioneer Week. I know I won't.
What's going on? Must be an overload in the neighborhood.
Or even closer.
You're crazy. I'll bet you I could. Oh, sure bet. All right, you've got it. I'll start for 1 week next Monday. Okay. Gong ho! Oh, hi, Papa. I'm glad you're home. I want to ask you a question. What period did the caveman live in?
here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins.
Give me a report later. I'm going to the library now. Don't you want to go to a matinee this afternoon? The Mechanical Werewolf from 100,000 Leagues Under the Sea is playing. Oh, I'm afraid I'll have to miss it. It's your loss, cousin. Hello, come on now. Oh, boy.
Patty, what are you doing?
Watching our new neighbors move in. They have a grand piano. Maybe they have a teenage son who plays it.
Or perhaps a gray-haired old grandmother.
There's a baseball bat. That doesn't belong to any gray-haired old grandmother.
Patty, don't you think you're being just a little inquisitive?
Also friendly. How else can you get to know your neighbors? Look, they're carrying in a tool chest. Maybe the father's a burglar. There's a tennis racket. It looks like a teenage boy's tennis racket. He plays baseball and tennis. He's an athlete.
What is she, a spy for the FBI?
There's a car pulling up in front of the house. Family's getting out. There's the wife.
She's wearing a mink coat.
There's the burglar. There's my baseball player.
What does he look like?
He looks like he's 12 years old. That's what he looks like.
12 years old? Yippee, I got a new best friend.
Yeah. Look at that flowered chair. They sure don't have much taste in furniture.
All right, Patty, come away from the window and stop being so nosy.
Who's being nosy?
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Hi, who are you?
Who are you?
This is Keith Gordon, our new next-door neighbor. He plays shortstop. Hi.
How are you?
Hello, Keith. Welcome to the neighborhood. Where are you from?
He comes from Iowa.
Idaho.
In Brooklyn, we pronounce it Iowa.
I understand you're going to be our next-door neighbor.
Yes, sir. My father moved away from Idaho to get away from his sister-in-law. My father's a lawyer. He makes $12,000 a year.
You know, moving days are really kind of hectic. Maybe you'd like to have lunch here with us.
What have you got?
Hamburgers?
Okay. Can my brother come too?
Oh, you've got a little brother? Why, certainly he may come. You two can play here today. And, Patty can help entertain you.
Mom, the Mechanical Werewolf is
Oh,
playing.
the Mechanical Werewolf can wait.
And that's sure nice of you, Mrs. Lane. I'll go get Scotty.
Oh, who wants to play nursemaid to 3 tadpoles? Have you ever seen a beautiful day go right down the drain?
Oh, won't hurt you this one afternoon.
Papa, these are my golden years. Every minute counts.
He's coming.
We'll wait for him.
Good morning. I'm Scott Gordon.
Well, hello, Scott. This is Mr. Lane,
Well, Scott?
our son Ross,
All right.
Excuse me, I think I left the water running upstairs.
and that's Patty.
Keith told me we were invited to lunch. That's very kind of you, Mrs. Lane, but we couldn't impose like that.
Why, it's no imposition at all.
I understand your father's an attorney.
He's a criminal lawyer, and you should see some of his clients.
Did you get the water turned off all right, honey?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Father. Hi.
Well, I guess we better be going.
Oh, aren't you going to stay to lunch?
Well, some other time, thank you.
My mother will drop over and give your mother some tips on markets and cleaners and so on.
I'm sure she'll appreciate that.
And then I can give you all the pert dirt on the neighborhood as seen through the eyes of a native.
Pert dirt?
Well, you know, the lowdown. How to tell the Mary Janes from the Scoties. If you get hung up with an ankle biter or a rink, you may just as well bag it.
You'll have to teach me the language, whatever it is.
It'll be a flip. I mean, be pleasure.
Well, I guess I better get going.
Sure.
Pardon me. It was nice meeting you. Come on, Keith.
Yeah, so long.
I'll walk you home.
He's beautiful.
I wouldn't call him beautiful.
Oh, of course you wouldn't. But I would. It's beautiful.
What about Richard?
Richard who? Oh, Richard. He's in Wyoming with his grandmother.
Whoever said absence makes the heart grow fonder must have been a man, and not a very bright one.
Anyone home? Hi. I thought you were going to a movie this afternoon. What? I said I thought you were going to a movie this afternoon. Oh. I decided to stick close to home and get a fast tan so I'd look good for him. Him who? Our new neighbor. You'll meet him at our wedding. Do you know what I love about you, Patty? You have both feet firmly planted in the clouds. Well, meeting a boy is better than killing a day at the library. Oh, I didn't exactly kill the day. I met a boy myself. You're putting me on. No. It was quite nice, actually. Handsome? Attractive. Mine's a blockbuster. Mine's rather shy, but very intellectual. Mine's the athletic type. He's an extrovert. Say, why don't we double date? Mine hasn't asked me for a date yet. Neither is mine, but why quibble about details? Let's all go to a movie tomorrow night. Patty, I can't just ask mine to take me to a movie. Boy, you need a lot of shaping up. You don't have to ask him. If you play your cards right, he'll ask you, and he'll never know what hit him. What are you looking for? I want to see what movie the boys are going to take us to tomorrow night. Have you ever seen a dream walking, Maggie? Well, he's it. And he lives right next door. I mean, I can walk him home in practically no time. I'll call you back. Hi, Keith. Are you having a good time?
Of course he's having a good time. He's my best friend. Come on.
How's your family? Your mother, your father?
Your brother.
They're okay, I guess.
Oh, where are they now?
She means where's your brother? She's looking for a date for tomorrow night.
I don't know where he is.
Do you know if your brother has any plans for tomorrow night?
I don't know. Why don't you ask him?
Hello, Patty. Hi, Kath. If you ever decide to take up mind reading, you'll make a fortune at it. What are you talking about? You are absolutely right. Mine asked me to go to the movie tomorrow night. Gung-ho. I told you we'd make it. Now all I have to do is get my half moving. How did you work it? I didn't work it. I was at the library, and he came up to me and started talking. And Miss Harvey asked us to be quiet. So he said we could talk better at the shake shop. So we went to the shake shop, and he asked me for a date. I couldn't have handled it better myself. Now I'll tell you what my strategy's going to be. I'm going to take the bull by the horns. I'll get it. That might be the bull himself. Ole? Oh, it's just an expression. Come on in. We were just talking about you.
Well, I came about tomorrow night.
Oh?
First, I thought it would be interesting to see a movie, but then...
What a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? Because I ain't thought. Oh, I'd like you to meet my cousin Kathy.
Hello, Kathy.
Hello, Scott. You've met? Well, yes, we met this morning. I told you. Don't you remember? You mean he's... And then we met again this afternoon in the library. You mean he's...
Kathy, I came to tell you instead of going to a movie tomorrow night, I thought we could go to a concert at Philharmonic. Van Cliburn's playing. Would you like to hear him?
I'd love to. Patty, would your date be interested in that? We could all go together. I don't think so.
Why don't you call him?
He's busy tomorrow night.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, I have some things to do upstairs. I'll see you, Scotty. Where'd I go wrong?
You and your cousin really get along well, don't you?
Oh, yes. We're more than cousins. We're very good friends. I saw him first, you double-crossing boy snatcher. He's mine. That's ridiculous. He asked me for a date tomorrow night. Oh, sure. After you cornered him and forced him to. Shh. I didn't corner him, but I didn't force him to. Oh, you quiet ones are the ones to watch. My own cousin double-crossing her own cousin. Why didn't you tell me he was your boy next door? Would that have stopped you? No. That's what I thought. Shh. You told me he was intellectual and not very good-looking. That's the way I saw him. You told me he was an athlete and handsome. That's the way I saw him. You have Richard. I'll trade you Richard and 2 Beatle albums. Why don't we let Scotty decide for himself? That's all right with me. You mean if he chooses me, you'll forget about it? That's exactly what I mean. But don't count on it, cousin. Hi, Ross. What are you doing?
I'm shoveling snow.
Hey, that's very funny. Gee, homework can sure be a drag on a beautiful day like this. All the other kids are out playing baseball.
I know.
You should be out there with them.
Yeah.
I can just see you. You're standing up at bat. It's the bottom of the ninth. The other team's winning 3-0 with 2 outs and bases loaded. Everybody's counting on you. You're their last chance.
I am?
3 balls and 1 strike. Crowd's getting tense. Pitcher winds up. Stops. Looks around, makes sure all the runners are on base. Here comes the pitch! Strike!
I'm not doing too well, am I?
3-2. If you miss this one, the game's over.
Am I going to miss it?
How do I know? Here comes the wind-up. He throws the ball. It's right over the plate. And you hit it. It's a home run! Listen to the crowd yell.
Yeah, listen to the crowd yell.
You won the ball game, 4-3.
Oh, boy.
Go out and get him, Tiger.
Who's gonna do my homework?
Oh, I am.
How can I play in the game? I don't have a glove.
Why don't you buy one?
I'd have to dip in a capital.
All right, I'll buy one.
And do my homework.
Your homework.
Okay. Who do I have to kill?
You don't have to kill anybody. All I want you to do is talk to Keith for me.
He's too young for you.
I want you to talk to Keith and find out from him about Scotty. You know, what he likes and doesn't like, his taste in sports, books, girls.
I know his taste in girls.
You do?
Yeah, he likes Kathy.
Do you want that glove or don't you?
I don't know. I'd hate to double-cross Kathy.
Oh. Well, all right then. Just forget it.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll hate myself, but I'll do it.
Good boy. I'll come see you someday in Yankee Stadium.
I'm not bad. Just weak.
Favorite actor, Laurence Olivier. Favorite sports, horseback riding and archery. Favorite food, strawberries with honey on them. Favorite color, green.
Is that the kind of stuff you wanted?
Exactly. The FBI couldn't have done better.
Do I get my glove?
Here, buy your own ball team.
Thanks. I still hate myself.
It'll pass, it'll pass. Favorite book, Moby Dick. It was a wonderful concert. Thank you, Scotty.
You know, Kathy, it's great finding someone who shares the same interests you have. You're the only girl I know who likes Bach cantatas.
Am I? I'm so glad.
So am I.
I'll fix you a snack. Patty? Hello, Patty? Oh! I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Captain Ahab was just going after Moby Dick, and I...
You're reading Moby Dick?
Yeah. I'm afraid I'm kind of a nut about it. I read it every few months. I've never seen you read it before. What's that bow and arrow for? What bow and arrow? Oh, this. I'm so used to holding it, I didn't even notice it. I'm getting ready for the archery tournament.
You're interested in archery?
Oh, yeah, well, I'm not out horseback riding.
Gee, me too.
Yeah? Oh, would you like some strawberries? I'm afraid I'm always eating them.
Well, so am I. I guess it's my favorite food in the whole world.
No. Oh! Wait a minute. I ruined them. Put honey on them.
Honey?
Yeah.
That's the way I love them.
No.
Well, I thought I was the only one who ate them that way. I guess we never really got to talk before.
Well, it's never too late. Shall we get that snack now, Scotty?
No, I'll just have some of these, thanks. I must have read this 10 times.
Me too. You'll probably disagree with me, but I hope Olivier does the remake.
Don't agree. He's my favorite actor.
Really? There are still some things about the book that I don't understand. It's just full of symbolism, you know?
Well, I know. That's what I like about it. It's deep.
Yeah. Tell me, Scott, do you think that Moby Dick is really a white whale? Or do you think that he's that terrible, terrible thing inside us that we must all hunt and kill?
I think he's Captain Ahab's conscience.
Do you? That's exactly what I think.
Well, I've written a thesis on it.
Have you? I'd love to read it.
Oh, would you? I'll bring it to school tomorrow. Maybe we can meet at the shake shop and I'll give it to you, if it won't bore you.
Bourne. I think it's the most interesting thing in the whole world.
Then I'll see you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can get some archery in.
Oh, great. I'd like that.
Good night, Kath. Gee, Kathy, thanks for a great evening.
Good night, Scott.
Night.
Oh, Scotty. My book.
Sure.
Thank you. I can't be without it.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow, Patty. Good night.
Good night. Did you have a nice time with Scotty? Yes. Did you? What do you mean? I mean that when you're out in that archery tournament tomorrow eating honey-covered strawberries and shooting at white whales, don't turn your back, because you're liable to find a harpoon in it. If there's anything I can't stand, it's a sore loser. More strawberries?
I don't know what to say. How long has this been going on?
Since he moved next door. The competition is fierce.
Gee, nobody ever fought over me like that.
I most certainly did. I just didn't let you know about it.
Oh? You want some? Well, with all the boys there are in the world, I don't see why Patty and Kathy have to like the same one. I didn't even think they liked the same type.
They don't. Each of them sees different things in Scotty. Patty sees him as a handsome athlete, and Kathy sees him as an introverted intellectual.
Sounds like a well-rounded boy.
He's very nice.
Well, how does he feel about them? Which one does he like?
That's the problem. He likes them both.
Sounds to me like one of them is going to have to give him up.
Which one?
If I knew the answer to that, I'd make myself editor of the Lovelorn column.
Martin, please do something.
Okay. I'll make another sandwich.
Chicken, potato salad, coleslaw, corned beef, hot dogs, ham sandwiches, and soft drinks. Well, I've got my half. I wonder what he's bringing. Going on a picnic? Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. Scott just loves picnics. Have a good time. We will. Look, I'm sorry about this, Kathy. When you tangle with the master, you have to expect to be outmaneuvered. There's Scotty. He's so prompt. Another one of his admirable qualities. Gung-ho! Oh, and don't wait up for me. I'll be back late. Hello, darling.
Hiya, Patty. How'd you know it was me?
Richard? Richard. Richard, you weren't supposed to be back for another 2 weeks yet.
Oh, I really missed you. Did you miss me? I knew how miserable you'd be here all alone without me. What's that?
What's what?
That basket. It looks like somebody's gone on a picnic.
Oh, yeah, it does, doesn't it?
You?
Me? No, Kathy. And you and I are gonna go for a nice ride in the country.
Ah, that sounds great.
I'll be right back. You've got to do me a favor. It's a matter of life and death. Are you sure? Absolutely. Then forget it. Oh, please, Kathy. I want you to pretend to be me and go on that picnic with Scotty this afternoon. Why should I do that? Because Richard got back. I could never explain Scotty to him. Look, you can keep my date with Scotty this afternoon as me, and then I can keep my dinner date with Scotty as me. I shouldn't do it. Oh, why not? You won't have any trouble fooling him. Think of all the fun you'll have at the beach. All right, I'll do it. You're very persuasive. Atta girl. Richard certainly picked an awkward time to come home, didn't he? Sure did. I'll never forget you for this, Kath. It's my pleasure. And remember, this is just a loan out.
Kathy just left on her picnic.
Did she?
Yeah, she's getting in the car with some guy. He's not much to look at.
Well, they can't all look like you, Richard.
No, I guess not. Kathy's a pretty thoughtful girl. You know, when she phoned me in Wyoming and told me how lonely you were, I came right back.
She phoned you in Wyoming?
Yeah, she wanted to surprise you.
And she did. She really did. How'd it go? I think it went quite well, Patty. You didn't have any trouble fooling Scotty? Oh, no. He thought I was you. Good. Hello? Yes, this is Kathy. Hello. Tonight? Yes, I'd love to. All right, then. I'll see you at 7 o'clock. Thank you. Goodbye, Scotty. Scotty? Maybe you've forgotten, but we have a dinner date tonight. I don't think so. You don't think so what? I'm afraid you and Scott had a terrible quarrel this afternoon. We did. Mm-hmm. And I'm afraid you were really quite rude to him. I was. Therefore, I don't believe he'll be seeing you again. Well, I'd better get dressed. You know how Scott hates to be kept waiting. Bye. When you tangle with a master, you have to expect to be outmaneuvered.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of them.
As fearlessly as they are fought by that great newspaper on whose board of directors I have the honor to serve, the Daily Chronicle. I thank you. Well, how's the sound?
Well, it was stirring, TJ.
It was a fine speech, Mr. Blodgett. It was a real gas.
Yeah, well, thank you, Patty. I assume that is a compliment.
Well, it's even better than like wow.
What did you think, Martin?
Very effective speech.
Got me an ovation at the business club dinner last night.
Dinner? I almost forgot. You see, you're a real spellbinder. Excuse me.
TJ, that part about the Chronicle.
Yeah, what about it?
Well, forgive me, but it does give the impression that you're our personal candidate.
Well, it's fine with me. People trust the Chronicle.
But you just serve on our board of directors, as you do in dozens of corporations.
Now, Martin, stop being such an old mother hen about that newspaper.
Well, I am the managing editor.
And a darn good one, too. One who's going even higher if I have anything to say.
Do you hear that, Papa?
You're my boy, Martin. You stick with me, and when I'm elected...
And I'm sure you will be, Mr. Blodgett.
Well, I better be, after all those terrible political dinners that I've been dragged to.
I used to cover them. They call it the fried chicken circuit.
Fried chicken, yeah. I tell you, it's coming out of my ears.
Dinner's ready.
Ah, well, now that's good news, Natalie. I'm looking forward to a home-cooked meal.
Well, I hope you enjoy it. We're having fried chicken.
Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
And so, this November, the voters will elect a president, vice president, 33 United States senators, and 435 members of the House of Representatives.
Thank you, Kathy. Students, this is a very important election for all of you. The first in which you're old enough to take a serious interest, and I hope you'll take an active part in it.
How do we do that, Miss Gray?
Well, one way would be to start in your own neighborhood. Pick a candidate you admire and campaign for him.
Kathy and I know a man who's running for Congress this year, T.J. Blodgett.
Oh, yes, I read about him. Do you think he'd make a good congressman?
Oh, yeah, it'd be great. Right, Kath?
Why do you think so?
Well, he made a campaign speech right in our living room. It was terrific.
Really? Well, how does he stand on the important issues?
Issues?
Yes. For instance, aid to schools.
I don't know.
Medical care for the aged?
Search me.
Taxes, foreign aid, unemployment?
He didn't say.
Well, why are you so impressed with Mr. Blodgett?
Well, he looks like a congressman.
Well, that's hardly a reason, Patty. But if you do admire Mr. Blodgett, then you should go out and help him win.
I think it's a terrific idea. What do you think, Kath? I think we should do it.
Right. Now is the time for all good girls to come to the aid of their party.
And so, Kathy and I talked it over, and we've decided we want to help get Mr. Blodgett elected.
So you've decided to mount the hustings, huh?
The what?
Oh, that just means to campaign in an election.
Oh.
Well, TJ will be delighted.
Is it all right with you, Uncle Martin?
Oh, of course. I assume the two of you have both examined the issues and the candidates before you decided Mr. Blodgett was the man to back.
Yeah.
Because I'd want to be sure that you weren't enlisting because of what Mr. Blodgett said about helping me out down here at the Chronicle.
It never entered my mind.
Well, I'm glad of that.
You really think it could help make you editor?
No, Patty. And I would forbid you to campaign if that was your motive.
Really, it isn't, Uncle Martin. We admire Mr. Blodgett, and we think it would be good experience for us.
And it will. Lottie, if Mr. Blodgett's in the building, would you ask him to step in here, please?
I can't wait to mount the hustings.
Well, you realize this election is no walk-in. Now, the other candidate's a fine man.
Who is he, Uncle Martin?
His name is Clark Williams. He's a professor of political science at the State University.
Professor? I bet he never had to meet a payroll in his life.
Already, she sounds like a politician.
Well, hi. Patty, Kathy, you come by to help Martin put out the sheet?
Better than that, TJ. They want to campaign for you.
Do they now? Then I'm practically in Washington.
Can we start right now, Mr. Blodgett?
You sure can. You go over to my headquarters and talk to Bill Duffy. He's my campaign manager.
Patty and I would like to hear your views on the important campaign issues.
Well, you asked Duffy to let you see my program. He wrote it. I'll phone Bill to expect you. Well, Martin, I'm off to the board meeting. You know, we're going to talk about what happens when Arnold retires as editor.
Oh, boy.
Down, Patty.
Your dad's in good hands, Patty. So am I, with you two in my corner.
I wish we really could vote for you.
Well, now, maybe that could be arranged, Kathy. You talk to Duffy.
Oh, come on, Count, this is it.
Okay, Henry. Look, Henry, I know the candidate ate a pizza pie at Angelo's yesterday. Okay, Henry, okay. You'll get equal time. Tomorrow noon, I'll bring the candidate to your delicatessen.
Mr. Duffy?
Yeah?
Hi, I'm Patty Lane, and this is my cousin Kathy. We've come to mount the hustings.
The what?
To campaign for Mr. Blodgett. Didn't he call you?
Oh, yeah, you're the kids. Here, start handing out these buttons.
Oh, we'll be glad to. But Mr. Duffy.
Yeah?
I'm on the school newspaper, and Kat's a genius at English composition.
So?
So we thought we'd like to make a real important contribution to the campaign.
You can. Start moving those buttons.
Mr. Duffy.
You still here?
Kathy plays the piano beautifully, and I dance a little.
So?
So we thought that, well, maybe if you wanted us to entertain at a rally or something.
Look, kid, we got a big sound truck that all day plays Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, and Barbra Streisand. You want to try to follow that act?
No, I guess not.
Okay, then, move.
Mr. Duffy.
What now? What now?
Mr. Blodgett said you'd tell us how he feels about the important campaign issues.
Oh, he did?
As campaign workers, I feel we should know how he stands.
Okay, I'll tell you. He stands foursquare.
Foursquare for what?
For what he believes.
What does he believe?
That you should start moving those cotton-picking buttons. Bob, get me that.
Hello. My name is Kathy Lane, and I'd like to tell you about T.J. Blodgett, candidate for Congress.
What number are you calling?
SU 73564.
I'm sorry, you have reached a special operator. Please hang up and dial again.
Yes, thank you.
Hello?
My name is Patty Lane, and I want to tell you about T.J. Blodgett, candidate for Congress in this district. Are you interested?
Sure.
That's great. T.J. Blodgett is a man of courage, ability, experience, and integrity. Elect him, and he will fight your battles in Congress. T.J. Blodgett wants and needs your support. Will you vote for him?
Well, I don't know. I'll have to ask my mommy.
Hello?
Hello, my name is Kathy Lane, and I'd like to tell you about T.J. Blodgett.
Who?
T.J. Blodgett. He's running for Congress in this district.
In this district? Are you sure?
Oh, yes. I am speaking with William Smithers of 14 Oak Street, Brooklyn.
If you got a wrong number, I'm Ted Bauer. I live in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle?
You better dial again.
Yes, I will, thank you.
Kathy, I like your voice. Tell this Blodgett guy if he decides to run in Seattle, I'll vote for him. Bye. Who's there?
My name is Patty Lane, and I want to tell you about T.J. Blodgett, candidate for Congress in this district.
What about him?
He's a man of courage, ability, experience, and integrity. He wants and needs your support. Will you vote for him?
I will not.
Why not?
Because the guy he's running against is my brother-in-law.
Get your buttons, vote for Blodgett. Blodgett is a people's choice. Get your buttons, vote for Blodgett.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clark Williams.
Clark Williams. That's Mr. Blodgett's opponent. Get your buttons, vote for Blodgett. He must be holding a rally in there. Let's go heckle him. Come on. Oh, get your buttons, vote for Blodgett.
I am a professor of political science at State University.
Oh.
I have also served as a town councilman,
Real
city manager,
egghead.
state assemblyman. And during the post-war occupation, I was a lieutenant colonel on General MacArthur's staff, helping to bring democratic government to the Japanese people.
Did you know that, Betty? So what? So he's been to Japan.
My opponent, on the other hand, is a highly successful businessman who has never held any public office. Now let's see where we both stand on the issues. I favor more schools, more hospitals, and foreign aid to needy nations, and jobs for the unemployed.
I agree with that. Yeah, so do I. And you know something? It's kind of cute.
My esteemed rival also supports these measures, but he has simultaneously called for lower taxes, reduced spending, a balanced budget, and an end to what he calls coddling by government. Now, friends, I ask you, how can we build more schools and hospitals and homes while spending less money?
He's right. How can we? Don't ask me. Oh, why don't we go see Mr. Blodgett? You're right. He'll know. Come on.
How's the tie?
Tie's great. Let me the button. Well, the collar. You look great, TJ.
Oh, hiya, girls. Hey, come on in and have your picture taken.
No, thanks, Mr. Blodgett. Could you spare a minute?
What, for my favorite constituents? Come back later, Joe. Now then, what can I do for you?
Well, Mr. Blodgett, you've come out for more schools and more hospitals and helping the needy and foreign aid.
That's right.
But you've also come out for lower taxes and a balanced budget and letting people help themselves.
That's right.
But how can we do both at the same time?
Now, who says we can't?
Oh, but you said that...
Patty, that's campaign talk. You gotta tell the voters what they want to hear.
Even if you can't deliver.
Kathy, I'm in politics now. The first job of a politician is to get himself elected.
Oh, but Mr. Blodgett...
Now, you stop fretting your pretty heads. Come on, I'll blow you to Sundays at the malt shop.
Oh, maybe another time, Mr. Blodgett. Thank you.
You name it. And remember now, keep those buttons moving.
Patty, do you know what I think? I think so, too. What do we do now? Huh? I suggest we retire to an unsmoke-filled room and caucus. Well, our duty is clear, Patty. We have to stop working for Mr. Blodgett. Right. And campaign for Professor Williams. Right. You mean like defect? Why not? Because we like Mr. Blodgett. He's a woolly lamb. That doesn't qualify him to sit in Congress. Cathy, it'd be like ratting on the mob. Oh, I don't think so. We're not changing sides for selfish reasons. Yeah. We're standing up for what we believe in. And I believe that Mr. Blodgett is a woolly lamb who should stay out of politics. I second the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye! Aye! Meeting is adjourned. Kind of gives you a sense of power, doesn't it? Vote for Clark Williams. You'll be happy you did. Vote for Clark Williams. We need him. Thank you.
Well, hello, girls.
Hi, Papa.
Gee, you never stop, do you? I hope TJ realizes what you're doing.
Heaven forbid.
Hello, Kath.
Hello, Uncle Martin.
Well, what's the latest message for the people?
Oh, it's same old stuff, you know.
Well, let's see. A vote for Clark Williams. Clark Williams?
Yes, Uncle Martin. He switched to Brand X. You're not angry, are you, Papa?
Oh, of course not. It's an old American custom.
Thank you, Uncle Martin.
When all this happened?
Well, we finally did what you told us to. We examined the issues and the candidates and took our stand.
Good for you. Did you break the news to TJ?
No, we just stopped coming around for buttons. Are you sure we did the right thing, Uncle Martin?
Following the dictates of your conscience? Absolutely.
I knew you'd say that, Papa. What was that line from Shakespeare you used to quote to me?
To thine own self be true.
To thine own self be true.
He was a pretty wise fella, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we better get on home.
Okay. Vote for Clark Williams!
And TJ has no idea.
None?
What'll happen when he finds out?
Nothing at all.
He'll be furious.
Nonsense. He's way ahead in the polls. Come election night and he's a winner, TJ will just laugh and forget about it.
Huh.
Mama, Papa, wait till you hear the news.
I'm not sure I want to.
What happened?
Miss Gray, our civics teacher, was asked to choose 2 kids to represent our school on the TV panel show Youth Must Be Heard. And she picked me and Kathy.
That's wonderful, Patty.
Congratulations.
We interview all kinds of famous people and ask all kinds of questions.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the show. What's the topic this week?
The congressional election in our district. I'll be quizzing Clark Williams and Mr. Blodgett. Imagine!
Welcome to Youth Must Be Heard, an unrehearsed public affairs program. Election Day is just 24 hours away. And so tonight, our youthful panel will question the rival candidates in one of the city's key congressional elections. Let's meet those candidates. First, Professor Clark Williams. And at the other side of the table, his opponent, Mr. T.J. Blodgett. Now let's meet our young panelists, all from local high schools. John Maynard, Albert Kramer, and two pretty cousins from Brooklyn Heights, Patty Lane and Kathy Lane.
Gee, the girls look so poised, don't they?
There she is. Hi, Patty.
Martin, I'm worried about what the girls will say.
Nonsense. What could happen?
Now let's start the questioning.
Mr. Williams, what made you decide to run for Congress?
Well, John, I believe today more than ever we need experts in government. And if I may say so, I feel that my years of training in political science and my practical experience in public affairs qualifies me in a modest way as an expert.
Mr. Blodgett, what made you decide to run?
Well, no, I'm an amateur at this game, but frankly, it seems to me that the trouble in Washington is we have too darn many so-called experts now.
Mr. Blodgett, you have holdings in many different corporations.
Oils, automobiles, newspapers, textiles, department stores, you name it.
And when you're looking for men to run these businesses, whom do you choose? An amateur or an expert?
Why, an expert, of course. Oh, well, now that's different. I mean, it's business.
What made you
Boy,
decide?
she sure gave it to him.
Right between the eyes.
Well, now we know what can happen.
Professor Williams, do you feel you have any special knowledge of the problems and needs of the district you're running in?
Well, I should. I grew up in the district, married a neighborhood girl, and now I'm raising 3 children there.
Thank you. Mr. Blodgett, you don't live in the district, do you?
Now, you know I don't, Patty. You've been to our place in Dutchess County.
Oh, yes, it's a beautiful estate. Acres and acres along the Hudson.
That's right.
I'll bet it's almost as big as this congressional district.
Well, could be.
And Mr. Blodgett has horses up there, and sheep, and pigs, and prize cattle.
And chickens, too.
Hardly any people. And isn't it the people whose needs and problems our next congressman must know about?
Turn it off, Martin. I can't look.
That my years of training in political science.
Oh, don't worry about it, Natalie. It's just a kid's TV program. It couldn't affect TJ's chances one bit.
Let's hope not. Or you may be the only managing editor of a New York newspaper with a permanent black eye.
And with 80% of the returns in from the district, here are the tallies. Clark Williams, 75,844. T.J. Blodgett, 18,300. Well, it's a landslide for Williams.
Yes, and right on our heads.
I'm awfully sorry, Aunt Natalie. We didn't realize.
We were only trying to be good citizens.
Of course you were. I'm proud of you, Patty.
So am I.
Now, where'd you get that, son?
Wonder who that could be?
You know that old saying, if anything wrong can happen, it will?
Yes?
I'll bet it's Mr. Blodgett.
Well, what a nice surprise, TJ.
I want a word with you.
Well, I guess we'll leave the grown-ups alone.
Sit still. I especially want both of you to hear this.
Oh, boy, I've done it again.
Well, I suppose you heard. I got clobbered.
Yes, TJ, I'm very sorry.
And you know who did it? These 2 teenage turncoats.
We had to do it, Mr. Blodgett.
We were only trying to be true to our own selves.
And you were. Which is more than can be said for me.
What?
Martin, these 2 kids taught me a lesson.
You mean you're not angry?
An hour ago, I was boiling, Natalie. I could have turned these kids over my knee and pow.
Couldn't blame you.
Then it hit me. You know, I deserved to lose. I'm a businessman. I'm no politician. Well, I've devoted so much time to business that I wasn't studying up on the issues. I was a fish out of water. But thanks to Patty and Kathy, I'm back where I belong.
TJ, you're quite a man.
Yeah.
I always said it. He's a woolly lamb. I vote for that.
Well, guess let's go over to the malt shop and have those sundaes I promised you, huh? Come on, Roy, I'll tell you that. See you all later.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a...
Hi, Cuz. Anything interesting? It's a letter from my father, Patty. How is Uncle Kenneth? He's fine. He's in Geneva covering a UNESCO conference. Twisty. Anything for me? I believe there is, Patty. Probably from the White House asking my advice on the economic situation. Thank you. Boston. I don't know anybody in Boston. It's from Kip. Who's Kip? Don't you remember Sue Ellen's cousin? That tall, dreamy, brilliant rich boy who's going to Harvard? Sue Ellen introduced us to him at the Shake Shack. Kathy? What's the matter? He's invited me up to Harvard for a weekend prom. Do you know what this means? I'll be the talk of Brooklyn Heights High. This is the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me in my life. What'll I wear? What'll I wear? Patty, your mother and father haven't said you could go yet. Why wouldn't they let me go? Well, they might feel you're a bit young. Don't be silly. They wouldn't keep me from the biggest opportunity of my life. Going home. Do you remember that tall, dreamy, brilliant Harvard man I told you about?
Yes, I do.
Well, he's invited me up to a prom in Boston next weekend. Isn't that my ball, Popper? I've got to get the train schedules to Boston.
Boy, he must be desperate.
Patty,
Yes, Papa?
you better find out if they know the train schedule's 2 years from now.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Imagine my own mother and father keeping me from going to a prom at Harvard. It's prehistoric.
If they hadn't stopped you, I would have. I don't want you going to any other dances with any other guys. And I'll tell you something else. The next time I see that guy, I'm gonna punch him right in the nose for asking you. And you can pay for your own ice cream.
If there's anything I can't stand, it's adolescent boys. What am I gonna do, Kath? I can't write and tell Kip my parents won't let me go. He'll think I'm a kid. You might try using psychology. Psychology? What good would that do? Don't you know that worlds have been conquered by the right word said to the right person at the right time? The right word said to the right person at the right time. Kathy, you're a genius.
dinner going to be ready?
Dinner's been ready for 40 minutes. Patty's late.
Oh, she stopped off at the school library, Uncle Martin.
Patty did what?
Wish I'd said that.
Well, she has absolutely no sense of responsibility. I think it's time you had a little talk with her, Nat.
I intend to. My dinner's probably ruined.
Like, hi, everybody.
Like hi yourself. Do you have any idea how late you are, young lady?
Yes, and it's absolutely inexcusable. I'm sorry to have been so thoughtless. I mean, you have enough on your mind running the household as brilliantly as you do without having to worry about me. I'll try to be more thoughtful in the future, Mom.
Well, that's all right, darling. You're not very late.
But in the future, Patty,
And I'm sorry to have kept you waiting for your dinner, Popo. After the kind of day you put in at the office, you have a right to expect your dinner on time.
Well, I guess it won't hurt me if it's a little late once in a while.
Thank you. Why don't we eat before she talks us out of it? Congratulations on that performance downstairs, Miss Freud. That was great, wasn't I? Did you hear Mama practically begging me to let her do the dishes? You almost had me hypnotized into doing them. Really, though, Patty, this is nothing to fool around with. I'm not fooling. I mean it. It's incredible. By using psychology, you can get anything you want. Where's it been all my life? What are you writing? A letter to Kip accepting his invitation to the Harvard dance. Accepting? Patty, your mother and father said you couldn't go to the dance. That was BP. BP? Before psychology.
Kathy said you wanted to see me.
Oh, yes, Richard. I want to apologize.
I should hope so. Going to a dance at Harvard with another guy.
I guess I'll just have to find some other way to do something for you.
Do something for me?
Yeah. I should have known you're not the bragging type.
Of course not. What are you talking about?
Oh, I just wanted to see everybody's face when you told them that your girl went to a dance with a Harvard man who was crazy about her, but she preferred you.
Yeah?
And how you took pity on the college man and let me go so that his heart wouldn't be broken.
Poor devil.
And everybody would envy you, because you're going with the only girl at Brooklyn Heights High who was ever invited to a Harvard dance. Can't you just see their faces?
Patty,
Yes, Richard?
if it means that much to this guy, I don't suppose there's any harm in your going to one little dance with him.
Oh, no, I couldn't do that.
I'm telling you, it's all right.
I just wouldn't feel right about it, Richard.
Now, don't be selfish. The least you can do is go for my sake.
You really mean that?
I certainly do. I'm telling you to go to that dance.
Well, if you really feel that way about it, I'll do it. For you.
Thanks a million, Patty.
Should have heard him. He begged me to go to that dance. It's incredible. It's like a secret weapon. I could rule the world with this. Do you know what I love about you, Patty? You never get carried away. You know, I was wondering, should I wear a sheath or a full skirt? Haven't you forgotten one small detail? What's that? Your mother and father. They said you couldn't go to the dance. I told you, before I'm through with them, they'll plead with me to go. I don't believe it. Oh, no? Just keep an eye on the old master.
Martin, this apple looks more like an orange.
Maybe you've invented a new fruit.
Are you ready, Patty? Oh, I'm not going, Kathy. You run along without me. But everyone's expecting you. Will there be a big crowd there? Of course. There always is at a pre-game rally. Oh, then I think I'll just stay home and read a book. You have a good time. All right. If you're sure. Oh, I'm sure. Good night, Aunt Natalie, Uncle Martin.
Good night, Kath.
Have a good time, dear. Patty, I thought you liked these rallies.
Oh, I used to. Mom, when you were my age, did you ever suddenly find yourself shy about being in crowds?
I don't think so.
Well, I guess it's just a teenage phase I'm going through. I'll probably get over it someday. Maybe.
Martin, I think I'll put some coffee on. Would you like some?
Good idea. I'll come with you.
I knew something was wrong. Patty hasn't been out one night this week. I'm worried.
Well, you heard what she said. It's just a phase she's going through.
I don't like it. She didn't go to the shake shop with the kids after school. Yesterday, when they went bowling, Patty stayed home. Now that I think of it, she has been avoiding crowds. Why, that's not like Patty.
No, it certainly isn't.
Well, what are we going to do about it?
Why don't you just leave her alone?
Oh, we have to help her get over this.
Well, how?
By making her go out.
You can't force her to go out.
Oh, we won't force her. It should be something that she wants to do. Do you remember the Harvard dance that she wanted to go to? Well, maybe we could let her go to that to sort of break the ice.
I thought we decided we didn't want her to go to that. Would mean a whole weekend away from us.
One weekend won't matter. Besides, she'll be very well chaperoned.
Wait a minute. I mean, what if she doesn't want to go?
Well, she just simply has to. Martin, there are times when a parent must do the thinking for a child. We just won't take no for an answer. Come on.
Patty,
Yes, Papa?
you haven't been out one night this week, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that is your mother, and I, both of us, we were thinking that maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea if you did go out more.
I don't want to go out.
Well, we just mean to do something you like. For instance, you asked whether you could go to that dance at Harvard.
Oh, that?
You were very excited about the idea of going.
There'd be millions of people there.
Patty, you like people. You know, crowds are just a lot of individuals. If you take them one at a time, they're not so bad.
We'd like you to go to that dance, Patty.
I thought you didn't want me to go.
Well, we changed our minds.
That's really very nice of you, but don't worry about me.
Well, honey, I think you'd have a wonderful time.
I don't think so.
Of course you would. And Kip sounds like a fine boy.
Oh, he's nice enough.
Then will you do it?
Do you really want me to?
Very much.
All right, then I'll do it for you.
Oh, that's wonderful, darling.
Patty, thank you.
Well, that's all right, Papa. Well, I better get to that rally. I mean, if I'm going to go up to Harvard, I may as well start warming up with smaller crowds.
We did it.
Natalie.
Yes, dear?
Oh, nothing. That was just a crazy idea that occurred to me.
What idea?
Forget it. That's just my suspicious nature. That's what happens when you've been a newspaper man all your life. Why don't we finish making that coffee?
Telegram for Patty Lane?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Will you sign here? Thank you.
It's for Patty.
Well, I hope nothing's wrong.
Well, it's one way to find out. Received your letter. Great you can come to the prom. See you Friday. Gung Ho. Signed, Kip.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like a puppet on a string.
We should have caught on when she talked about being shy around crowds. Patty's about as shy as a Sherman tank.
She must have written Kip days ago accepting this invitation.
She was pretty sure of us.
Martin, what are we going to do about this?
Well, how do you make the punishment fit the crime? As far as I can see, the only thing she's guilty of is outsmarting us. She wanted to go to that dance, so she used psychology to get us to ask her. I have to admit, that's pretty bright.
Well, I would have felt better if she had just come out in the open and asked us.
Well, she did. Remember? We said no.
So we did. Well, now what? Do we just forbid her to go?
How can we? We talked her into it. Anyway, I have a better idea. I took a little psychology in school myself.
Good morning, group.
Morning, dear.
Morning, Patty.
Morning, Patty.
Kathy tells us you enjoyed that rally last night.
Yeah, it was it was all right. There were an awful lot of people there.
Well, there'll be a lot of people in Boston, too. But you'll be fine.
I'm gonna try.
Oh, good for you. It's a lovely city.
You'll meet a lot of boys up there.
A lot of them will be looking for wives. Just don't come back engaged.
Me? Don't worry about that.
That's just what my cousin Fran said when she went to a prom at Harvard. She was just about your age.
What happened, Dad?
Well, her date sent his roommate to pick her up at the railway station. And it was love at first sight. She never even got to the prom. He swept her right off her feet. They were married that night.
Those Harvard men are pretty impulsive, aren't they?
Oh, they are. When I was in high school, my best girlfriend got invited to a Harvard prom. I never saw her again.
What happened to her?
Oh, the Harvard men just swept her off her feet. She had 3 proposals of marriage. Oh, poor Tilly didn't want to get married, but they just wouldn't take no for an answer. Oh, they're very persuasive up at Harvard.
You know, I can remember the first weekend I spent away from home. I was just about your age, Patty.
Were you excited?
Very. Oh, you'll be a little bit nervous at first, of course. You'll be all alone among a lot of strangers. Well, actually, you won't really know anyone. Except Kip, of course.
I only met him once.
And you'll be sleeping in a strange place in another city, away from your home and family. Do you know what really surprised me when I got home from that first weekend? Everything seemed changed. It was as though I'd been gone for a couple of years. Even the house looked smaller.
I'm only going to be gone for a weekend.
And it'll be a marvelous weekend. We have to think about what you're going to wear. Perhaps we should buy her a new dress. Something that'll sweep the men off their feet.
Mom?
Yes?
Let's not make me too irresistible.
Why, Patty, you're the envy of Brooklyn Heights High.
That's great.
All the girls are green. Hey, do you think you could get a date for me up there?
I'll talk to Kip and see what he can do.
Just don't let Kip get you in the moonlight. He has a great line.
He has?
Sure. But he's a living doll. He's your cousin, isn't he? Uh-huh. If he weren't, I'd marry him myself.
Who said anything about marriage?
Yeah, La College Prom is a great place to meet men, isn't it? Let's face it, you're not traveling up there to see Boston.
Sue, maybe I'm a little young for Kip.
Don't worry. He'll make you feel older.
Oh. They just can't send me to Boston. I'm a kid. Patty, you begged your mother and father to let you go. Well, they should have said no. If there's anything I can't stand, it's over-permissive parents. I'm not going to be pushed out of the nest. They're not getting rid of me that easily. No one is trying to get rid of you.
Oh, no? Everyone who goes up to Boston comes back either engaged or married.
Well, no one is going to force me to go to that dance. Patty, you've already made the arrangements. You can't let Kip down now. Boy. How? How do I get myself into these messes? It's a talent, Patty, and you've got it.
I was going to rule the world. I can't even handle Brooklyn Heights.
What am I going to do, Kathy? Why don't you consult an expert? There's one in the next room. Thank you.
Come in.
Can I talk to you a minute, Papa?
Yeah, sure. Is anything wrong?
Everything's wrong. You know the trouble with the psychology bit?
What?
It works.
Does it?
I don't want to go to Boston.
Because you hate crowds?
No, sir. I just said that so you and Mom would make me go to the dance. I'm afraid I wasn't being very honest. I'm sorry. I got carried away again.
You know, Patty, there's nothing wrong with psychology. You can use it to make people feel better or to make things go smoother. But it's only when you start using it deliberately to manipulate people that it becomes dangerous. It's a very strange thing. When you start using people to get what you want, you usually find out that what you've got isn't what you really wanted after all.
I understand. It won't happen again.
Well, glad to hear that.
I came in to see if you knew any way that I could get out of going to the dance.
Oh, yeah, I think there is.
How?
Well, you might sit down and write a note to Kip.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And tell him I have the measles or something.
Just tell him the truth.
You mean my age and everything?
Yeah.
Couldn't I lie about that just a little bit? No, I guess not. Okay. You're right, Papa. Thank you.
I'll write him a letter. Special delivery right away. That way he'll have time to get another date.
Poor devil. There go 3 years out of my life.
Martin, does this look like a banana to you?
Sure it does. Which one?
Thanks a lot.
F-R-U-G. Patty, that's not the way you spell frog.
Frug.
Frug. It's a dance, not an animal. Psycho. And I'm out.
Congratulations. That's 17 in a row you've won.
I'll get it.
That's all right. I'll beat you next time. Papa,
Mm-hmm.
can I have an advance on my allowance?
No.
Can I go to the movies tonight?
No.
Can I have that new dress I wanted?
No.
Isn't it great? The word no doesn't bother me at all anymore. I feel like a new woman specs worn off psychology.
So do I.
Hi, Rich.
Never mind the high rich. I've been thinking it over, Patty. You're not going to that dance at Harvard.
Oh.
And don't think you're going to talk me into it. I know all about these college men, and I'm going to be one myself in 2 years. And if you want a college man, you can wait for me. Is that clear?
Yes, Richard, if that's the way you want it.
That's the way I want it.
Don't you love a masterful man?
Come on, let's go down to the shake shop.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins.
What's going on down there? Patty? Patty? Patty, are you all right? Me? Sure, I'm fine. You mean you were just sitting here screaming and you're fine? Are you in some kind of trouble? Why is it every time something happens around here, everybody jumps to the conclusion that I'm in trouble? So, something has happened. Do you want to tell me about it? I can't. I can't tell anyone about it. All right. Then would you mind not screaming while I'm on top of a ladder? Kath? Yes? If I tell you, will you promise not to tell anybody? If you don't want me to, of course not. They've accepted me for the Peace Corps. They've what? I sent in an application about 6 weeks ago, and I just got this letter telling me to report. Pat, you're not old enough. Oh, so I stretched my age a little. It's the spirit that counts. I didn't even know they had a branch in Brooklyn Heights. Brooklyn Heights? I'm going to Africa!
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Patty, can't be serious about going to Africa with the Peace Corps. It's all said. What are your mother and father going to say? What can they say? I'm doing this for my country. I finally found something worthwhile to dedicate my life to. And nothing's going to stop me. When do you leave? I report to the training camp in 2 weeks. They say it's pretty rugged. I have to pass all kinds of exercise courses, and then they have classes in native customs and so on. You don't know anything about Africa. Oh, don't worry. By the time I get there, I'm going to be an expert. Listen to what I'm going to say. What did you say? Take me to your leader. Oh, God.
Don't stop. Go on playing. It sounded good.
I thought we were being attacked by the Indians.
Where'd you get the drone, Patty? I borrowed it to do some research with.
That's African, isn't it?
Yeah.
I saw the masks in your room. You're getting very interested in Africa, aren't you, Patty?
Well, it's a fascinating country, Aunt Natalie.
Yeah. I thought the masks were of her.
Boy, you'd make a great shrunken head.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to dream of going to Africa on a safari.
Yeah? Me too.
Well, who knows? Perhaps we'll all go one day.
Yeah. Or maybe just some of us.
Chwavili vinatosha.
What are you doing? Oh, brushing up on my Swahili. Listen to this.
Kibanda kinya viumba vitatu.
The hut has 3 rooms. Oh, good. I wouldn't want it to be crowded.
Kikome kime vunjika kuna kotumatano.
The cup was broken on Wednesday. Oh, here's another one.
Angalia, ondo gere ingojena, hacha kusema.
Leave this place and bring me your dog. Well, what if no one breaks a cup on Wednesday and they don't have a dog? You want to hear me count to 10? No.
Moja, mbili, tato, nane, site, tano, sada, nne, tisa, kunu.
How about that? Well, if you ever run across anyone with 10 broken cups in a 3-room hut, you'll be a smash. Paduga Paco si Pacubua pa Huencio.
What's that?
You're out of your head. What are you doing? I'm getting in shape. I thought you said they got you in shape down at the camp. Oh, yeah, well, I'm getting in shape to get in shape. I don't want to flunk the test. Hey, you want to see me do something graceful? Watch this. You ready? Oh, Captain! Help me, will you? Pass me to my arm. Oh, no, wait a minute. Patty, what are you doing? It must be 100 degrees in here. Uh-huh. That's the idea. I'm getting used to the heat. Those jungles can be murder. Oh, Ross? Do me a favor, will you?
No,
There's a quarter in it.
that's different. What do you want?
A green salamander.
You know, for a minute I thought you said you wanted a green salamander.
That's what I said.
And you give me a quarter for it?
That's right.
I'll make you a deal. 5 for $1.
One will be plenty, thanks.
I'll be right back.
What do you want a green salamander for? It says here that we have to live like the natives of the country we're in. Share the same kind of living accommodations, eat the same kind of food. In some parts of Africa, green salamanders are considered a rare delicacy.
Here he is.
Oh, here's your quarter.
Boy, you don't know the trouble I went through getting him. What are you gonna do with him?
Gonna eat him.
You're funny.
Green, isn't he? They usually are. Yeah. Well, he looks delicious. He's jumping around. I wonder if he has enough air in there. What difference does it make? He's not a pet. He's your lunch. Yeah. Gee, he's awfully thin. You think I should have a fatter one? You're a star. I am not. It's just he looks so young. His mother and father could be looking for him. Hello. Hello, little fella. Aw, he's really cute. He has a personality. Why don't you do a circus act with him and eat him as an encore? Very funny. Ross! Aren't you going to eat him? How can I? I've grown accustomed to his face. Take him out and let him go.
You mean you don't want him anymore?
I had a big breakfast.
Boy, your husband's gonna lead an interesting life.
Let's see what other native foods they have. Oh, here's one. Grass soup. Sounds delicious. Smells great. It smells like a lawn at high noon. Want to taste some? No, thank you. Beautiful. Well, how was your grass soup? Needs mowing.
What's all this about Patty and the Peace Corps?
Oh, Richard, you've got to talk to her. This time she's really gone too far.
Yeah, Africa's about as far as you can go. When did all this happen?
Do you remember those pictures they showed about the Peace Corps in school about 6 weeks ago?
Sure. Volunteers working in Tanganyika.
Well, you know Patty. She got carried away again. She sent in an application, and they accepted her.
But you have to be 18.
She figures that by the time they find out she's not 18, she will have saved Africa.
Where is she now?
Up in her room.
Just leave her to me.
Thank you, Richard. Come in. Oh, hi, Rich. What are you doing here?
I just happened to be on a safari, and I thought I'd drop in. So what's about going to Africa?
Yeah. I'm going to join the great humanitarians. Albert Schweitzer, Clara Barton, Betsy Ross, Patty Lane.
Have you told your mother and father yet?
No, and I'm not going to tell them till the last minute. Then they won't be able to stop me. I'm calling it Operation Hush Hush.
Oh, why don't you call it Operation Nut Nut?
What's the matter? Have you got something against the Peace Corps?
Against it? I'm trying to protect it. What do you think your folks are going to say when they find out?
What can they say, Richard? I'm doing it for my country.
Well, what do you know about Africa?
Heaps! I've read every one of these. Africa, the Dark Continent, Land of the Mau Mau, Bobo the Jungle Boy, Customs in Africa.
Well, what are you going to do there?
I am going to teach them English.
You? Teach English?
What is so funny about that?
Well, I wonder how you say longitioso, gung-ho, and bye in Swahili.
Don't you worry. I'm not going to have any trouble communicating with them. You know, a lot of people think that the Peace Corps just wants college graduates and experts. But that's not true. A little skill can go a long way in those countries. Rich, why don't you come with me?
Me? Go to Africa?
Yeah.
Oh, my father wouldn't even let me go to the game in Hoboken last night.
Okay. You're missing a great adventure. I'll think of you at night, Richard. When the campfires are lighted. And all around me, I hear the roar of the lions. And the tromp, tromp, tromp of the elephant herds.
Sure sounds exciting.
Yeah. Just think. The jungles are alive with millions of animals that don't exist anywhere else in the world. Ah! It's like a primeval paradise. Man, pitted against raw nature. Well, did you talk her out of it?
Talk her out of it? She darn near talked me into it.
Hi, Patty.
Oh, hi, Tom.
Can I talk to you?
Sure. Pull up a chair. You want a soda?
Oh, no, thanks. This is official business. I want to do an interview for the school paper.
Sure. Anything for the good old Bugle.
There's this crazy rumor going around that you're going to Africa with the Peace Corps.
Miti mitano ilitosha.
What?
Take off your shoes when you come into the garden.
Yeah. Well, is it true?
Naam.
No.
Naam means yes. I seem to be the only one around here who knows what I'm talking about.
What made you decide to go?
Well, Tom, we have to do what we can, where we can, when we can. I want to light a candle in the darkness. I have a fantastic ear for languages. Mto, mbuzi, kaka, faruha, kabunga. Take the goat out of the house.
It's awfully quiet around here. Wonder where the kids are.
Oh, they'll be along soon. It's almost dinner time.
Oh, Brooklyn Heights Bugle. See what our competition is doing. Hey, look at this. Brooklyn Heights girl going to Africa for the Peace Corps. Isn't that exciting? I wonder if Patty knows her.
Think how proud her parents must be.
Yeah. what are you all dressed up for?
Me? Dressed up? It's for a school play. I was rehearsing.
Well, you didn't tell us anything about it.
Well, it came up suddenly.
Well, what's it about?
It's, the play is about this girl.
What's the plot?
Well, she gets tired of people saying that teenagers are nothing but juvenile delinquents. So, she decides to do something about it. She joins the Peace Corps and tries to help people who aren't as lucky as she is.
Is she lucky?
Oh, yeah. She's got everything. Wonderful mother and father. Great kid brother. Beautiful home.
And she's willing to give all that up to go to faraway places and help others?
She feels she has to. Somebody has to do it.
She sounds like quite a girl, this character.
Nah. She's pretty average. She just figures it's time she started giving. Can't take all your life, Papa.
How does the play end?
She goes off to Africa and tries to do a good job.
The minimum period of service in the Peace Corps is 2 years.
Yeah, I know.
I imagine that would be rather hard on her mother and father.
She's sorry about that.
She is.
Mm-hmm. She's not trying to hurt anyone. She's just trying to do something good. Something important. For the first time in her life.
Well, it sounds like a very interesting play. We'll be sure to go see it.
Yes, we must. We've got to stop her.
We can't just say no to her, Nat. Not about something as important as this. We have to find some way to make her realize she mustn't go.
How do we do that?
We pray for a miracle. Who knows? That could be it.
Like, hi.
Oh, it's you. Hello, Richard.
Hi, Richard.
Is Patty ready?
I don't think she's dressed to go bowling.
Oh, we're not going bowling. I'm taking her to the hospital.
To the hospital? Is she sick?
Nope. She's a volunteer nurse, and this is her night to work there.
A volunteer nurse?
Sure. Patty does a lot of stuff like that.
Does she? Come on in, Richard. Tell us about this work that Patty does, Richard. Sit down.
Oh, thanks. Well, last month, she was in charge of an old clothes drive at the settlement house. And before that, she made speeches for the Fresh Air Fund. She raised quite a bit of money. Patty's a talker.
She didn't say one word about any of this.
Well, what is there to say? You just do it because you want to help. Patty works with the orphan kids at the settlement house. She reads to them and tells them stories. She's great.
Is she?
Have an apple, Richard.
Oh, thanks. And next month, the care drive is coming up. She'll be working on that. Next month is going to be a very exciting month.
Did you know Patty was going to Africa?
Africa? I'm sure glad you asked me that, sir. What was that question?
Never mind. I think you've already answered it. You know what you are, Richard?
A stool pigeon.
You're a miracle man. Natalie, would you entertain our guest for a few minutes? I'm going to go up and talk to our daughter.
Good luck.
Patty'll kill me.
Patty, Richard's here to pick you up.
Richard?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot. It's Thursday night. Okay, will you tell him I'll be right down?
Mm-hmm. Where are you off to?
Oh, I'm just going to spend a couple of hours downtown.
With the orphan children?
That Richard has a big mouth.
Well, you're not ashamed of it, are you?
No, of course not. But I figure there are talkers and there are doers. If you're going to do something, do it and don't talk about it.
It's an interesting philosophy. You enjoy your work there?
Oh, yeah. Talk about characters. You should meet some of them sometime. There's this one little boy, Slugger Smith, always laughing. And another little girl. Her name is Babe X. Isn't that a nutty name? She spells it capital E-X. She has beautiful long black hair and great big brown eyes. She's going to grow up to be a dress designer. There's another little girl. Susie Harvey. She has a beautiful voice. She can sing anything.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. I bring her a record album one week, and the next week she has the whole thing memorized.
No kidding.
The greatest character of all is little P. Peterson. You know, I bring him books on rockets and planes and things, and he doesn't read them. He eats them. He's going to grow up to be an astronaut. You know what he did on my last birthday? He built me a rocket, and I lit the thing, and it took off into the air, and a streamer came out of it spelling happy birthday. All the kids stood around singing happy birthday. I cried like a baby.
Kids must really love you a lot.
Oh, they've done a lot for me, Papa. More than I've done for them.
I'll bet they'd miss you terribly if you went away.
What do you mean?
Well, I was thinking about this play of yours, this girl who goes off to join the Peace Corps.
Yeah?
Well, you know, she sounds like the kind of a girl who'd be involved in worthwhile projects at home, too.
I guess so.
You know, I'd like to suggest a change in the plot of that play.
What kind of change?
Well, supposing this girl were too young to go off to Africa. And
she's not too young.
Well, now, let me finish. And supposing that it weren't really necessary for her to go anywhere to do the things that she wants to do. And she's interested in helping people who really need help, right?
Right.
Well, don't you see, Patty, if she went away to help other people, she'd be walking out on Babe X and Susie Harvey and Petey Peterson, wouldn't she?
I'm not walking out exactly. She has to do it.
Of course, on the other hand, maybe they'd never even miss her.
Oh, yes, they would. They'd miss her. You really think she'd be walking out, huh?
I think the most important thing she can do is to finish the work she started.
You knew there was no play.
Yeah.
You and Mom very angry?
No, angry is not the word, honey. The word is proud.
Thank you, Papa. I suppose I should have told you. I guess I just got carried away by the glamour of it. You can call eating green salamanders and grass soup glamorous.
Now, you know, someday, if you want to get involved in something like the Peace Corps, I think it would be wonderful.
Okay, when I'm old enough, I'll go. Until then, the rest of the world will have to wait until I take care of North America.
Good.
I'll be the only girl in Brooklyn Heights High who speaks Swahili.
I'm getting kind of hungry. Where's Patty?
I'm sure she'll be along any minute.
Well, she invites me to dinner and she's not even here.
I think she went to pick up her date.
Her date? I'm her date.
Oh, she's interested in somebody else, Richard.
When she's got me?
That's women for you.
Oh, hi, group. Sorry I'm late. Come on in, group. There we go. I'd like you to meet Slugger Smith. And this is Babe X. She's the dress designer. And this is Susie Harvey. She's going to sing for us after dinner. And here's Petey Peterson. He brought his rocket along. He's going to show us how it works.
Hi, kids. Welcome to the Lane home.
Why didn't somebody tell me?
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two.
Phil.
Yeah. I feel all spooky inside. Like,
Me too. Like,
what's the matter?
my foot fell asleep.
Rich? Do you suppose anybody ever felt this way before?
How could they?
I suppose maybe Romeo and Juliet.
Maybe.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears.
Romeo said that?
Oh, maybe it was Hamlet.
Rich,
What?
you know what I wish? I wish Kathy could feel the way I do.
About me? I'm not her type.
No, not about you. I mean, I wish she could meet a boy, really flip for him.
Kathy? Doesn't figure.
No, I know. She's just too sensible and down to earth for anything like that to happen.
Poor kid.
Yeah, it is a shame.
Hi, Kat. We were just talking about you.
How was the Lit Club meeting? Meeting? You did go to a meeting, remember? Oh, yes. It was wonderful. No kidding. What happened? There was a new boy there tonight. His name is Christopher Hubbard.
I know Chris. He's a nice guy.
Nice. He's the most handsome, wonderful, intelligent man I have ever seen.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
You know, Kath, I'm really dying to know. Exactly how did you and Christopher meet? Oh, we haven't actually met yet. You see, he just dropped into the Lit Club and said he'd like to join. And then he sat in the corner all evening and listened. You mean you didn't talk to him at all? How could I? We haven't been introduced. Oh, well, you're the secretary of the Lit Club. Why didn't you go and introduce yourself? Oh, no. That would have been terribly pushy.
Patty, can I borrow your dictionary?
Ross, how many times do I have to tell you?
Knock before you come in.
Come in.
Now, about that dictionary.
It's in the desk. You can have it. Oh, never mind. I'll get it.
Thanks. Hi, Kathy. What's wrong with her?
She's in love.
Kathy? You're kidding.
No.
Who's the lucky guy?
His name's Christopher Hubbard. He doesn't know she's alive.
Why does she introduce herself?
Oh, no. That would be terribly pushy.
Kathy, it isn't that hard to make friends with a boy.
You see? Even he says so.
What's the trick? I mean, even Patty's got a fella.
Get out.
If you need any tips, Kathy, just come by.
Out.
I'll steer you straight.
Out! Thank you, Miss Lonely Hearts. You know, for once, Mighty Mouse is right. It's your move with Chris. Patty, I can't just throw myself at him. Well, how is he going to know you like him? I don't know. I've never felt this way about a boy before. Kathy, you need help. And you're going to get it right now. Patty, you're not going to call him up. No, dear, I'm not going to call him up. And I'm not going to hire a skywriter to fly over Brooklyn Heights and spell out Kathy loves Christopher. Hi, Rich.
Oh, hi, Patty.
How well do you know Christopher Hubbard?
Well, he's in my math class.
Great! Kathy wants to meet him. I didn't say that. Just a minute. You don't want to meet him? Well, of course I do. But I don't want Christopher to think that I'm brassy and forward. Oh, no, we must keep that a deep, dark secret. Rich? Kathy does want to meet him. Only it has to be handled with great tact.
Okay. Tomorrow I'll tell him my girl's got a cousin who's flipped for him.
Rich, I think you'll have to handle it with a little bit more tact. Hey, why don't you bring him to the shake shop after school? That way you can kind of, run into us there. Isn't that awfully sneaky? Absolutely diabolic. Rich, meet us there at about, 3:30.
Right. Good night, Juliet.
Good night, Romeo. What time is it, Patty? 3:45. Well, I suppose I'd better go now. I have a lot of homework to do. You just sit right there. Richard's here. Is there anyone with him? Yeah. He's cute. I know. Please, Patty.
Hi, what a surprise.
Hi, Rich.
I got here as fast as I could. Chris, say hello to my girl. Patty Lane, Christopher Hubbard.
Hello, Patty.
Hi. This is my cousin, Kathy Lane. How do you do?
Hello.
Won't you sit down?
Okay, what do you have, Chris?
Nothing, thanks. I can't stay long.
Oh. You're new in school, aren't you, Chris?
Yes, we just moved down from Boston.
Oh, I love dear old Boston. It so reminds me of London.
London? You were never there, Patty.
Oh, no, but Kathy was. Weren't you, Kathy? Yes. Kathy's been everywhere. London, Paris, Madrid, Rome, Florence.
Florence? I have a cousin named Florence.
Her father's a
Her
foreign
name's
correspondent.
Florence Lawrence. That's a name.
She speaks scads of foreign languages. And she plays the piano beautifully and dances ballet. Patty. Oh, and she cooks like a dream and makes all her own clothes.
Oh.
What are you majoring in, Chris?
English.
Kathy's an English major, too. Aren't you, Kathy? Yes. Kathy writes short stories and poems. And she's secretary of the Lit Club.
Yes, I know. I was at the meeting last night.
Oh, were you?
You know that. You cut that out.
Chris, are you an author, too?
Well, I've written some poetry.
Really? Kathy, maybe you could arrange for Chris to read some of his poems to the Lit Club. I'd be very happy to.
Thanks, but I don't like to read my stuff to people.
Oh, when's the club meeting, Kath? Tuesday night. Chris, why don't you come over to our house for dinner, and then you and Kathy can go on to the club together? Patty, please.
Thanks, but I can't make it. Excuse me. I have to go to the library.
Oh, Kathy, you were just on your way to the library, weren't you? No, I wasn't.
Nice to meet you. So long, Richard.
Bye, Chris.
Bye.
I'm sorry, Kathy. Thank you for trying. Forget it. And him, too. I'm sorry to be such a gloom.
That's very pretty, Kath.
If you like sad music.
Kath, forgive me for butting in, but I gather there's a boy you're rather fond of, right? Well, now, you take it from me. A girl as attractive and bright as you are can have any young man that she goes after.
It's very sweet of you to say so, Uncle Martin.
No, it's true. The only thing is that, well, sometimes you have to, what's the expression? You have to come on strong.
Come on strong?
Well, it doesn't do any good to moon in a corner, does it? See, I think you should let this boy know that you think he's wonderful. Be open and direct.
Open and direct.
Absolutely. How do you think your Aunt Natalie landed me?
Then you don't mind if I give you a bit of advice, Kathy?
No, of course not, Aunt Natalie.
Well, it's very simply this. See, men, or boys, are attracted by the unknown, the unpredictable.
They are?
Oh, every time. You can't go around with your heart on your sleeve. You have to be aloof and mysterious.
Aloof. Mysterious.
Absolutely. How do you think I landed your Uncle Martin?
If you really want to hook this fella, you gotta be feminine and clingy.
Feminine and clingy?
Yeah. You know, bat your eyes and look mushy.
Bat my eyes. Look mushy.
Really? Scout's honor. How do you think Nicky Lee landed me?
Thank you, Ross. Hi, Kath. How do you feel? Fine. I was just learning how to land Christopher.
Oh? How?
All I need do is be open and direct, aloof and mysterious, and bat my eyes. Mushy. Who said that? Uncle Martin, Aunt Natalie, and Ross, in that order. Oh, you can forget what they said. I've got the real answer. What's that? I was just watching this movie on TV, Passion's Plaything. It's all about this gorgeous French actress, Caresse Capri. She has every man in Paris at her feet. You know how she does it? How? She treats them like dogs. Like dogs? Mm-hmm. You know, mean and rotten.
Caresse, you are a devil. You've lied to me, betrayed me, destroyed me. But what can I do, chérie? I adore you. Oh, but you're a bore.
That wasn't very nice of her.
Oh, but it paid off. Caresse, if you do not come back to me, I will throw myself in the Seine. And she didn't. And he did.
Patty, what has all that to do with Christopher and me? Everything. Kathy, you've got to start treating him like a dog. I can't do that. Well, you want to land him, don't you? Oh, yes, but then you've got to operate. Proud, haughty, cruel.
So he said, how about a date Saturday night? And I said, sorry, I'm busy. So he said, how about a date next Saturday night? And I said, sorry, I'm busy. So he said, how about a date the Saturday after that? And I said, sorry, I'm busy then, too. And you know what?
What?
The next day, he sent me the biggest box of candy you ever saw.
Oh, that's wonderful. Then you've got to operate. Proud, haughty, cruel. Are you sure I look all right, Patty?
You look irresistible.
I wish I felt that way. Look, Kath, Rich went to a lot of trouble to arrange this rematch. Don't chicken out now. They're here. Steady, girl.
It's open, Rich!
Hiya, beautiful. Hiya, Kath. You remember my friend, Chris?
Oh, didn't we meet the other day?
Yes, in the malt shop.
Oh, yes, of course. You're, Christopher Hubble.
Hubbard.
Oh, sorry. Would you like to come to the living room? Won't you sit down?
Hey, Patty, let's see what's to eat.
Oh, yeah.
Kathy?
Yes?
About that meeting next Tuesday
Meeting?
of the Lit Club. I'll be there.
Oh, how nice.
And I've changed my mind. I'd like to have the club hear some of my poems.
Oh, do you write verse?
Yes. In fact, I brought some of my poems with me. Would you like to hear them?
Why don't you just leave them on the table and I'll look at them when I have a chance.
Hey! They're out of ice cream. Let's go do the Shake Shop bit and live a little.
All right. Kathy, remember you have to be home by 10. I do? Kathy's expecting a long-distance call from a Hollywood actor. Calls her almost every night.
Yeah? Gee, I didn't know Kathy knew an actor in Hollywood.
Well, shall we? That was Wizard.
Can we sit down now and talk?
I'd love to. Keep dancing.
Kathy, please, let's sit this one out.
Well, you may if you wish. Oh, Lou, come on, they're playing our song. Excuse me. Kathy, you were really terrific. Patty, how long do we have to keep this up? Until he's hopelessly in the palm of your hand. Hello? It's Chris. Gee, Chris, I'm sorry. Kathy's on the other phone. What other phone? Shh. Remember, you're talking to an actor in Hollywood. Oh, no, Betty, I can't do that. Oh, maybe you can't, but I can. Hello, Chris? Could you hold on a minute, please? Okay. Yes, I do wish I was with you. Sitting there watching the sun set on the Pacific. Troy. Troy. Shh. What's that, dear? You're going to fly east just to see me? Oh, yes. I'll fit you in somehow. Patty. Hello, Chris? Gee, I don't know when Kathy's going to be off the phone. Oh, why don't you try her in the morning? Night. Patty, why do we have to do this? Because you're in love and that's all-out war.
Richard, I need your help. I'm crazy about Kathy, but I don't know how to handle her.
Well, what's the handle? Kathy's a nice, quiet girl.
That's what I thought. I fell for the first time I saw her at the Lit Club.
No kidding. Oh, you sure didn't act like a guy who was in love when I introduced you.
It's because I like her so much.
Huh?
I'm shy with girls, especially a girl I really go for. I don't know, I just freeze up.
Man, you've got a problem.
You know, I was so glad you arranged that double date last night. You know, I thought I could relax and start being friendly, but Kathy came on like gangbusters.
Yeah, she sure acted spooky.
And now I can't even get her on the phone. She's always talking to some Hollywood big shot.
Chris, you need help.
I know.
And I've got the answer.
What?
There's just one way to handle a woman. Treat her like a dog.
Okay, I'll do it.
Hello?
Oh, Kathy? Chris Hubbard here.
Oh. Hello, Chris. Hello.
I'm seeing you tonight, Kathy, see?
You are?
We're going to that piano recital at the Art Hall, see?
I'd like to do that.
Oh, fine. I'll call for you about 8 o'clock. I mean, meet me there, 8 sharp, see?
All right. I'll be there. Bye. Who's that? Christopher. He invited me to a piano recital. Great. I'm supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. Be there? You mean he's not picking you up? No. He sounded so masterful, I just said I'd be there. Oh, Kathy. I'm sorry. Meet him at 8, huh? Well, we know how to handle that. Hi.
Kathy!
I'm here.
You're 30 minutes late, though.
Am I? How naughty of me.
2, please. That'll be $1.
Thank you, Chris. It was a very interesting evening.
I'm so glad.
Fascinating, in fact. And since we're never going to see each other again, I'd like to say you're the rudest boy I've ever met.
Then that makes us even.
I don't mind going Dutch. I really don't. But you could at least have asked me.
And you could at least have been on time.
That's right. I was late, wasn't I?
30 minutes.
I probably had a premonition that I'd be spending an interminable evening with an unmitigated boor.
Oh, well, don't worry. It won't happen again.
It certainly won't.
And don't expect me at the Lit Club. I just resigned.
How delightful.
You mean goodbye. Kathy.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I should
Please.
never.
I'm not really like that. Kathy, forget everything I said, everything that happened. Just remember one thing. I'm crazy about you.
I like you too, Chris. Very, very much.
Do you really?
From the first time I saw you at the Lit Club.
That's when it hit me. Oh, darn. What kind of a nut was I to have listened to Richard?
Richard?
He told me the only way to get a girl is to treat her like a dog.
Richard told you that?
What's so funny?
Patty told me that that was the only way to get a boy. And all the time, you were... Well, better go.
Good night, Kathy.
Good night, Chris.
I'll see you tomorrow.
How was your date, Kath?
Oh, lovely.
You see, it's all in knowing how to handle a boy.
That's right. You bet.
You can say that again.
I ordered the shakes extra thick.
Good. Thank you.
Don't they look gone?
Flip time. Just like us.
You know, for a while, I thought they'd never get together.
Me either.
But they did. I'm really glad I was able to make it all happen.
Yeah. What do you mean you were glad to make it happen?
That's right. I told Kathy how to handle Chris, and that was that.
Correction. I told Chris how to handle Kathy, and that's what did it.
Richard, I really don't mean to contradict you, but it was me.
No offense, Patty, but it was me.
Richard, I have always known you were arrogant and conceited, but there are limits.
Patty, I wish you would come out of orbit and face facts.
Come out of orbit?
Yes.
I didn't think that. You got a problem. What I did, of course your name was worse. That's fine, right? And I...
Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins